We have been talking about final account preparation. That was the topic we covered in the last class. Final account is prepared at the end of each accounting period. It may be 3 months called a quarter, or it may be at the end of a financial year called annual account closure. Closure of annual account. Okay. What are the most important statements? Two are the most important statements. One is the balance sheet. The other one is profit and loss statement. These two are mandatory. Okay. The other statements will be asset statement, liability statement, and any other statement, balance statement for bank balances and other things. Okay. Now we move on to cash book. The company may hold some money in the form of cash. Company may hold money in the form of bank accounts, loans, or in cash. Whenever cash is handled directly, we have to maintain the balance in the form of a cash book. Cash book has same format as the ledger for accounting. One is for debits, other one is for credits. When you draw money, you enter it in the debit side. When you pay somebody, you enter it in the right side called the credit side. Okay. When you draw money from bank accounts through check, whatever medium, when you receive money, you enter it on the debit side. When you pay money to someone, you enter it on the credit side. So that they will become for each day. For each day, you have to balance the debits and credits and put down the balance amount to be available in the cash box. There is for each cash book, there is an associated cash box. Cash box 1, cash box 2, cash box 3, and cash book 1, cash book 2, cash book 3. Each cash box should tally with the amount of balance available in the cash box. Okay, the available money and the balance in the cash book should be tallied. Okay, otherwise any surprise inspection will will punish the cashier handling the money, because it may be a malpractice. The cashier could have taken the money without the permission of the company. Okay. Cash book records debits and credits of cash. Any cash received is on the debit side. It's on the left side. Any cash paid is entered on the right side or the credit side. All cash inflows like bank withdrawal, receipt of sales proceeds in cash, etc. are entered in the debit side of the cash book on the left side, debit side. All outflows like salary, rent, phone bill, etc. are made using the cash recorded on the credit side of the cash book, on the right side. Credit side is the right side. Okay, then we enter it in the same two-column format. One is for debits, other one is for credits. And we have columns for date of transaction, particulars, then reference number, any references to be made. We may draw using a check. We may draw money using a check or whatever medium, and the amount. Okay. On the credit side also, we have 4 columns: date, particulars, references, and then amount. Okay. Done. This is cash book. Then ratio analysis. What is the ratio, first of all? Ratio may be a number between 0 and 1. Simple definition of ratio is, it is a number between 0 and 1. Sometimes it may be a percentage. It may be expressed as a percentage. You say 0.6. 0.6 is a ratio. Okay, it's a ratio. It may be a number. It may be a number ranging between 0 and 1. It may be 0, it may be 1. 1 means fullness. 1 means everything, 100%. 0 means nothing, 0%. Okay. By multiplying a ratio through 100, with 100, we will get the corresponding percentage. If we say 0.6, it is equivalent to saying 60%. 60% in the form of a ratio will be 0.6, because 0.6 into 100 is 60. Okay. 0.552 is 52%. 0.67 is 67%. Okay, then multiply the ratio by 100 and you will get the corresponding percentage. Okay. Why ratios? Why ratios are needed for a company? It is to ascertain how the company performs. How the company performs. How much profit is made. How much loss is made. How much money we hold. All these can be easily measured using the ratios. If someone says we are good, it's okay. but the person may have something in mind and may convey something mistakenly to the other person. Whereas ratios are numbers. Each one will equally understand the meaning. It's not about human perception. It is a number. Okay, numeric measurement of company's performance. We call ratio analysis. Okay, ratio is a measure of how good a condition has been achieved. At the end of each financial year, the company releases certain ratios to indicate that the company is doing well in the business. Okay, following are the common ratios adopted in the financial management. One is current ratio. Current ratio means current assets divided by current liabilities. Current means anything which is expressly possible. That is, you hold an asset like gold. I have a gold ring. If I wish to convert it to money, I can easily convert it to money without much bother. I can easily convert it to money. I will call it current asset. Current asset, because it can be easily sold. Whereas I have a plot of land, I may not sell it so easily. It takes a lot of time to find the buyer, and then a long process for getting it registered, transferring the money, and realizing the money. It's not current asset. Okay, it's a form of solid asset. Current assets divided by current liabilities. Current liability means for this financial year, I have to pay certain amount of tax. It's a liability. For this particular month, I have to pay certain amount of salary. It's a liability. For this particular month, I have to pay certain amount of phone bill or electricity bill. It's a liability. Okay, therefore, what are the current liabilities? As of today, what are the debts I owe to other persons like salary, phone bill, electricity bill, and taxes? Okay, these are current liabilities. Therefore, you measure current ratio using current assets divided by current liabilities. When the number is greater than 1, our company is doing well. When the number is greater than 1, our company is doing well. When the number falls below 1, we are in a problem because our assets are not commensurate with the liabilities. Our assets are less than the liabilities. If it falls below 1, we are in a trouble. Current ratio. Can you say what current ratio is? Current ratio equals current assets divided by current liabilities. Once more, current ratio equals current assets divided by current liabilities. Once more, current ratio equals current assets divided by current liabilities. Okay, then quick ratio. Quick ratio means a fast look at the company's performance, how the company performs. Liquid assets divided by current liabilities. What are liquid assets and what are current assets? Liquid asset has money, solid currency. Liquid asset is currency. Then any bank balance may be considered a liquid asset. You draw a check, you pay the money. Therefore, any balance held in the bank and anything held in the form of currency notes in your cash box is called liquid asset, that which can be easily spent. Okay, divided by current liabilities. Liquid asset means I have 1,000 rupees in my cash box, whereas current liabilities for the month exceed this 1,000 rupees. It is about 50,000 rupees. I have to pay salary, I have to pay the phone bill, I have to pay electricity bill, all those things. I need 50,000 rupees. What will be my quick ratio? Liquid asset 1,000. Current liability 50,000. 0.02. I am in a difficult condition. I have to sell some current assets or generate some money through some other means to get my ratio equal to, at least equal to 1 or greater than 1. When it is greater than 1, I will have some money in my hands after incurring all expenses. Whereas when the ratio is less than 1, I will not be able to fully pay up my liabilities. That is a difficult situation. Therefore, any healthy business will have current ratio and quick ratio greater than 1. Greater than 1. Okay. Then absolute liquid ratio. Absolute liquid assets divided by current liabilities. That is, absolute liquid asset means I have cash 1,000 rupees. Whereas some bank balance is also available with me. Maybe 1 lakh rupee in the bank. Then absolute liquid asset means 1 lakh 1,000. And divided by current liability only 50,000. My ratio works out to, absolute liquid ratio works out to 2.02. This is okay. 2.02, absolute liquid ratio of 2.02 is not a bad thing because it is far above 1. It is greater than 1. My company is doing well. That is, in case I am not able to pay up all the liabilities using my current asset or liquid asset, money, I can draw money from the bank and pay up the liabilities. Okay. Quick ratio equals liquid assets divided by current liabilities. Can you repeat? Quick ratio equals liquid assets divided by current liabilities. Once more, quick ratio equals liquid assets divided by current liabilities. Once more, quick ratio equals liquid assets divided by current liabilities. Okay, sir. Absolute liquid ratio means absolute liquid assets divided by current liabilities. In all the parameters so far, we have used current liabilities in the denominator, whereas the numerator is different. Current assets, liquid assets, absolute liquid assets. Okay. Absolute liquid ratio equals absolute liquid assets divided by current liabilities. Can we repeat? Absolute liquid ratio equals absolute liquid assets divided by current liabilities. Once more, absolute liquid ratio equals absolute liquid assets divided by current liabilities. Once more, absolute liquid ratio equals absolute liquid assets divided by current liabilities. For all the three ratios, current ratio, quick ratio, and absolute liquid ratio, a number greater than 1 is good. A number less than 1 is bad. Okay. Number equal to 1 is just balancing. Balancing means our assets and liabilities balance each other. After paying the liabilities, we will not have even a single rupee in our hands, but it is strictly 1.0. Okay. Then gross profit ratio, GPR. This is one of the most important ratios. Gross profit ratio. This is how companies are evaluated. When a person wishes to buy a share, the companies are floating shares. Public limited companies are floating shares in the share market. When a company share is to be bought, the buyer will definitely look at gross profit ratio, GPR. The company making good profit will be yielding more money to the investor. Therefore, GPR, gross profit divided by net sales. Gross profit is the amount of profit before deduction of taxes. Gross profit before deduction of taxes, before paying salary, before paying electricity bill, anything. I make so much profit in total. I have not paid my tax. I have not paid my electricity bill. I have not paid my salary. Whereas this amount of profit has been made by me, gross profit, divided by net sales. Net sales is the total volume of sales we have. It is about 20 to 30%. Normally, gross profit, GPR, gross profit ratio, works out to 20 to 30% for companies, 10 to 5% for local vendors, the downstream vendors. Anybody who is in the shops, who is running a shop, may make a profit of about 10 to 5% normally. Okay. A company which is producing products would make a profit of 20 to 30%, sometimes 50 or 60%. It varies. Okay. Because the producer makes the most profit. Then distributors and local vendors make lower levels of profit. Okay. Then net profit to net worth ratio. Net profit means the gross profit minus tax liabilities, amount of tax to be paid, amount of salary to be paid, amount of electricity bill, amount of money to be spent on phone bill and other things. All expenses gone. Now, whatever remains is the net profit. Net profit after taxes divided by shareholders' net worth into 100. We need not multiply by 100. Shareholders' net worth. Net worth, shareholders' net worth means the amount of money a shareholder pays for each share. One share, some companies have face value of 10 rupees per share, whereas their shares are selling at 3,000 or 4,000 rupees per share. 10 rupee face value, whereas the shares are selling at 3,000 or 4,000 rupees. The shareholders' net worth is 3,000 rupees or 4,000 rupees. Okay, shareholders net worth is 4,000 rupees. And the net profit will be something. We divide these two things, multiply by 100 to get net profit to net worth ratio. That is, I spent 4,000 rupees. How much money can be expected as profit? How much money can be expected as net profit? Okay. This is called net profit to net worth ratio. I spent so much money. How much, what percentage of money will be paid back at the end of the year? Okay. Net profit to net worth ratio. Net profit is worked out after deduction of taxes, after deduction of salary, after deduction of phone bill, electricity bill, every expense. Okay. Gross profit is without deduction of anything. Then dividend yield ratio. What is dividend? Dividend. Dividend. We have a chocolate. Then you split it, share it with your friends. Dividend. Each one is getting a share. Dividend. Okay. In a company, people are investing money. And commensurate to the investment amount, they will be getting some dividend. They expect to get some dividend from the company, whereas they may not be getting the dividend. Why? The company may fall into a loss. They will not pay any dividend. Whereas the company may hold the profit for future investment. You may not get the dividend. Whereas when you get a dividend, what is the amount of dividend per share? For each share, how much money is paid as dividend divided by earning per share, dividend, market value per share. Market value, I already told you, for a share of 10 rupee face value, they may be paying around 4,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees or 4,000 rupees. Suppose we talk about SBI shares, State Bank of India share. It may be running at 3,000 or 3,500 per share. And they may be offering about 35 or 40 rupees per annum as dividend. Per annum, per share as dividend. Then, if you get 40 rupees out of 4,000 rupees, what is the percentage you get? 40 rupees for investment of 4,000 rupees. 1%. About 1%. We get around 1% of money back as the dividend. Whereas this 1% is in addition to whatever money you may get from selling the share. The market value of the share fluctuates. When it goes above 4,000 rupees, 4,500, you sell it. You make 500 rupees as your profit. Whereas, even if you do not sell it and book your profit, you will be getting 1% per annum as the dividend. Okay. ஒரு சினிமா வந்தது, வைரமெல்லாம் ஒரு எலும்பு கூட்டுக்குள்ளால மறைச்சு வச்சுட்டு திருட்டு பசங்களா இருப்பாங்க. பிரபுதேவா அப்புறம் யார் அந்த பழைய நடிகர் எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து ஒரு திருட்டு பசங்க கூட்டம். ரேவதி ஜோதிகா இல்ல, ரேவதி ஜோதிகா இருக்கும். இருக்குமா? ஆமா. திருட இல்லம்மா, ஒரு கார்லாம் இது பண்ணி திருடின்னு போவானுங்க. ஒரு எலும்பு கூட்டுக்கு உள்ளால வைரம் வச்சிருப்பாங்க. டிவிடெண்ட் ஒவ்வொருத்தருக்கு dividend is simple. All are stakeholders or shareholders. They agree upon some percentage for division amongst themselves. Whatever profit arises, they will divide it amongst themselves. Whatever they get as the profit is called dividend. At the end of the process, they get some profit and it is called dividend. Okay. Then price earnings ratio, PER. Listen, market price per share divided by earning per share. That is, we get the share for 4,000 rupees. Whereas we may earn, by selling the share, we may earn 500 rupees extra, 4,500 rupees. Or 1,000 rupees extra. We sell it for 5,000. We bought it for 1,000. We earn about 1,000 rupees per share. What this PER says is market price per share divided by earning per share. What is the price of the share? You divide it by the earning you make. Earning every person makes through the share. Okay. You call it price earning ratio, PER. This ratio, when this ratio becomes 1 or less than 1, the company is highly profitable. When this ratio becomes very large, the company is not profitable. So, we make 500 rupees out of 4,000 rupees. 4,000 divided by 500 will be 8. Okay, will be 8. Whereas this 8 is a large number. We are not making much profit. When PER is 1, you bought it for 4,000 rupees, you sold it for 8,000 rupees, you made a profit of 4,000 rupees. Whatever amount you invested is equally compensated by the company. The ratio becomes 1. When it becomes less than 1, the company is very highly profitable because whatever you invest will be several times multiplied and the ratio will become less than 1. Okay. PER, price earning ratio, market price per share divided by earning per share. Then net profit ratio or NPR. NPR or net profit ratio. It is operating profit divided by net sales. Operating profit means any profit which we earn, which the company earns for making future investments or making further development of the company. We call it operating profit. After paying up the dividend, after paying up the taxes, after paying up every kind of liabilities, we would have some extra amount, some residual amount. That is operating profit. That is the real profit to the company because they make the profit, they start paying the tax, they start paying salary, they start paying all the money to everyone. Then they arrive at net profit. Even that net profit will be divided among the shareholders and the company will hold a portion, only a portion of the net profit. That is the operating profit for company divided by net sales. Inventory ratio, net sales divided by inventory value. Whatever amount we earn by selling divided by whatever amount we have invested for inventory, raw material. We call it inventory ratio. This ratio should be always greater than 1 or equal to 1. We are making a profit. When this ratio falls below 1, we are making low profit and investing too much money on inventory. Okay, inventory should be controlled. Overall profit ratio, overall profitability ratio. Net profit divided by total assets. Total asset means money held in our hands, any asset in the form of building, machinery, raw material or inventory, everything put together, total asset. We call it as total asset. Net profit is the profit we make after paying taxes, salary, electricity bill, phone bill and all liabilities. Net profit divided by total assets is overall profitability ratio. This is the ratio through which we can ascertain whether this company makes any profit or not, is worthy of a purchase or not. The most important ratios are dividend yield ratio. Investors, when a person wishes to invest in a company, they look at dividend yield ratio. Then NPR, net profit ratio. NPR, they call it NPR, they call it GPR, gross profit ratio. These are the most important financial ratios through which an investor can ascertain the company's performance and then make an investment. This is important for public limited companies. They disclose all these ratios on an annual basis. All these ratios are to be mandatorily declared by the company every year. Okay. Otherwise, their enrollment in the stock exchange will be cancelled. If they do not disclose these ratios, their enrollment and the statement of audited accounts, their enrollment will be cancelled. Okay, done. Then we have got two things. One is cash flow. We have two columns, two sides. One is for debit, other one is for credit. Okay. We record all the income, all the inflow of money on the debit side, all the outflow of money on the credit side. Okay. Done. After this ratio analysis, we have current ratio, quick ratio, absolute liquid ratio, gross profit ratio, net profit to net worth ratio, dividend yield ratio, price earning ratio, net profit ratio, inventory ratio, and overall profitability ratio. All these ratios are important for any public limited company. These are to be disclosed by any public limited company in order to maintain their registration with the stock exchange. Okay. And apart from the first three, all the other things are meant for investors to ascertain the status of the business. Okay. The first three are meant for the company officials to ascertain their own status. Done. We stop here. We go on to practical.